Welcome to another project on Building Wisconsin. I'm Stuart Keith, and we're here in downtown Milwaukee at the Moderne, a great example of urban revitalization. Now, before we catch up with the developer to hear his vision of this project, we were here about 8 months ago with plumbing foreman Jim Schubert.
This is the newest thing. It's 3D CAD modeling, so we can see our pipe as it would look on the project.
So this entire construction project is all three-dimensional on this computer. Is it really taking the place of the old building plans?
Absolutely. Where before we would have 3 or 4 sets of plan that would take up this entire gang box, everything's on the computer now.
And with all the inclement weather that you work with, because the project must go on.
Absolutely.
Makes it a little easier.
Wind, rain, coffee, everything. The plans after 3 floors are unreadable.
Okay, so what project is this that we're visiting?
This is called the Moderne. It's a apartment building / condos. There's 217 units, 14 of which are condos.
Wow, pretty big project. I take it it's a little more challenging coming to work each day working on this project compared to a residential home.
It is. I mean, the biggest difference is on a residential project, you can go into a house and you're pretty much the only guy there. Where here we have contractors every day. We're working with 10, 15, 20, possibly different contractors, start to finish every day.
But everybody in the building trades is in that boat on a project like this, and you find it's like a choreographed routine. Everybody's working together.
It is. It's a schedule from Monday to Friday in terms of hours and minutes instead of weeks and months like a normal bigger job is. I mean, they want to pour a floor a week. We have to be on schedule every day or we don't make it.
Yeah, it must be exciting coming to work every day, seeing the fruits of your labor. Now, what is your role here on this project?
I'm the plumbing foreman. I oversee all aspects of the plumbing.
Really? So the responsibility falls on you to make sure your guys are getting it done correctly?
Absolutely. Everything falls back on me. From my guys, what they're doing, what they're putting in, how they're putting it in, everything, plumbing-wise.
How many apprentices, how many journeymen here?
We have 3 journeymen, 3 apprentices.
Good. Well, I'm anxious to see what they're up to. Can we follow along and see some of the specific locations?
Yeah, we have some guys working right over here. This is Jason. He's one of our journeyman plumbers. He's working on our waste and vent system. He's running 2 kitchen sink lines for 2 different units upstairs.
Okay, and since this is a poured concrete structure, every single floor is solid concrete. That must be challenging for the plumbers.
It is. What we have to do is make sure before they pour the concrete that every one of our sleeves is in the correct spot. And we do that with our computer drawings, and we make sure everything lines up floor to floor so we don't have to put offsets in and everything looks real good.
And again, the onus falls on you as the foreman to make sure it's getting done correctly, but at the end of the day, you're depending on the journeymen, the apprentices, to get it done right, because even as I'm looking at this, sure, it's a waistline coming down, but that section is for the room above, and everything is tier to tier to tier. It has to be done right initially.
Right. I rely on them to install everything the way the computer says, and I have to relay that message to them.
Okay, between each floor, everything has to be connected together. You said you had 6 guys here? A couple guys above right now helping assist bring this through?
Yeah, we probably have 1 guy above. He'll help push the pipe down. Jason will be working here. He'll tell his apprentice to make sure we get all the hangers we need. We usually try to have a top and a bottom guy. 1 guy stays on a ladder, the other guy does all the running around, getting him all the material he needs.
So it's not just here today, gone tomorrow. You're getting everything set at every step of the process, because at the end of the day, you're going to be one of the last trades to leave because you're hooking up all the, whether it's a sink or a lav or whatever it is. Have you found in your profession that some of the schooling really comes into play, like math, for instance? As I'm looking at this, it must be very important.
Yeah, we use math every day. Every day there's fractions. Everything you think in school that you don't need, we use every day.
How long have you been a plumber?
Almost 20 years.
20 years, and you've worked your way up to foreman. Is that something when you started you wanted to do, is become a foreman?
Absolutely. From day one, I always wanted to be in charge.
It sounds like you're pretty happy with your career choice.
I am. Yeah, it's really nice.
Well, let's move along and see some of the other plumbing work being done on this structure.
Okay.
Wow, down here on this level, you get a good look at all that coordination you were talking about between all the different trades.
We have sprinkler fitters, heating contractors, our plumbing, everything is on this floor for all the floors above.
So I suppose this is what you're talking about when you're saying there's a big benefit to having that tablet, that computer with all the plans on it.
Absolutely. It's the coordination is the biggest thing on a project this size, and with that we can talk to other foremen, and we have everything we need right there so we can coordinate and not crisscross and cause problems.
Yeah, because as I look back and think about it, if it's all on a tablet and all the different trades, all their foremans have tablets, you guys don't have to go from floor to floor or go up to the top to address a certain situation. You can all look at it three-dimensionally, and it must make it go a lot more smoothly.
It does, and I also have everybody else's plans on my tablet so I can see, and I don't have to waste the time to go talk to them if I don't need to. It saves time, it saves money, and on our projects, that's the biggest thing, saving time and money.
Okay, some of your guys are working in the background. What's going on there?
Yes, Stu, this is Ken and Brian. These are two of our apprentices. They're actually working on a condensate drain for the heating contractor, for all of his units, condensing units, to drain into our system.
So again, good example of that overlap between the different trades having to work together. It's not just heating doing heating and plumbers doing the plumbing.
We all have to work together.
So do you find that with apprentices and journeymen, there's a lot of mentoring that goes on and that's really beneficial?
There has to be, otherwise we're really doing the apprentices a disservice. If we don't show them everything we know, it puts them behind in their career right off the start. When
you see an apprentice in action, does it kind of take you back to when you were first on the job, an early apprentice, and how far you've come?
Yeah, it does. And I want all of my guys to become foremen. That's my goal as a foreman. Let me train them to be where I am, because I'm not going to be here forever either.
And that's one of the things I love about the trades. The opportunities seems to be there if you want it. Some guys aren't cut out to be it. They don't want to be. They just want to be an everyday plumber, but other ones want to move up in the company.
Right, and those are the guys we love the most.
I love getting behind the scenes. We're seeing what the plumbers are doing here. I love to hear the enthusiasm. Is there a sense of pride from the plumber's side that you drive through town with your family and point out buildings that you've worked on?
I do. I do that every time we're driving around. I'll point out to my kids, hey, your dad worked on that building. Your dad worked on that building. And now I have a 30-story high-rise that I'm building. And I can say to them 20, 30 years from now, hey, you know, your dad did that building. Your grandpa did that building.
I really appreciate you taking the time to walk us through and show us the behind the scenes on this project.
Oh, you're welcome.
The Moderne project has been in the works for several years, and it took a lot of effort, people working together from local politicians to labor to management to the developer. Just getting a project approved was a big deal. Then we had to move on to getting the financing. And this is another great example where even labor was a part of the financing. Our Union Building Trades Pension Fund funded $42 million worth of this project. So we have guys working on the job, have part of their hourly pay going into the pension fund that actually financed this project. And now as they build it, every day they're reinvesting into projects like this, and this one is a shining example of how you can have labor, contractors, a developer, and a community benefit at the end of the day where everybody wins.
Building Wisconsin is made possible by the members of Plumbers 75, proudly serving their contractors and helping build Wisconsin for over 100 years.
We all know the most basic form of life requires clean water to survive. On Earth, we need it to drink, cook, clean, and it touches just about every part of our quality of life. Here in Wisconsin, we appreciate the value of clean water even more as we live alongside the Great Lakes. Yet we often forget to think about how water gets to our homes, schools, and businesses, and then safely back to Mother Nature. Where does all the dirty water go? How is it fresh and clean every time we get a glass of water? Who makes this happen? The answer, plumbers. It's the plumbers who are trained, mentored on the job, and have progressed through a 5-year education program that takes them from apprenticeship to a master of their trade.
It's plumbers who are committed to a career and have been trained to protect the health and safety of our water system and make sure you never have to think about where it comes from and where it's going. Yes, we're fortunate here in Wisconsin to have an abundant supply of clean, fresh water, but even more fortunate to have a highly trained and committed workforce to keep and deliver it that way.
Plumbers 75, supporting the plumbing trade in southeast Wisconsin for over 100 years. In 1975, Alpine Plumbing began as a two-man shop in Brookfield, Wisconsin. Since that time, Alpine has grown into a full-service plumbing company with over 90 employees. Their project managers and highly skilled plumbers are experienced in the construction, remodel, and repair of residential, commercial, retail, industrial, and institutional structures. You've probably seen their work at such places as the Moderne, Milwaukee School of Engineering, one at the North End, and residential homes throughout southeast Wisconsin. Alpine Plumbing and Plumbers 75, proud to be building Wisconsin. For more information on Building Wisconsin, follow us on Facebook and Twitter, and be sure to watch additional episodes on YouTube or at our website, buildingwisconsinTV.com.